My name is Abel. I'm with ToulonTrunk.com, and we're here with Paul Lamont. He played Alex Whitaker in PuppetMaster I in 1989, 23 years ago. So, Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself for fans out there who may not know and what roles you have appeared in.
Well, let's see. The first thing I think of is I was in two movies directed by Jonathan Demme, who's the director who made Silence of the Lambs. He won the Oscar for that, and that was, in the same time period basically as PuppetMaster came out, around 1990 or so, and he helped me a lot in terms of showing me that the realer you were and the more human you were in your performance, the better it would be for everybody. And I know I had already learned that before, but he reinforced that. He helped me to try to make things realistic. Nowadays, most movies there's so much action, and the dialogue isn't that well written like it used to be in old movies. And so there's not much opportunity for actors to really get into something in a dramatic way. They just, it's just action. And I don't mind action. Like if PuppetMaster had some action, which is fun. I was glad to play that part. I wish I could do another one, where Alex, because my character went into the insane asylum. In case you didn't notice that. That's what they mentioned in the second one.
Yeah.
Or Alex, he was so traumatized.
Well, that actually, you're kind of getting ahead of myself. I was actually going to refer to your character, but we'll get to that. But also, I want to touch one other thing before we get into the main PuppetMaster briefing here. So you're into hot rods.
Well, I have to be because of American Graffiti and its popularity. Almost everywhere I go, people talk about that movie. When I get to car shows, I'm asked to appear at classic car shows, not modern car shows. And so I travel around the country and make these appearances, and I see a lot of classic cars, and I even made a couple of DVDs about classic cars and the American Graffiti popularity. Even though it's a movie from the 70s, and it reflected an even earlier time period, there are quite a number of fans in America of all ages, and even around the world. I went to Sweden, where they have classic car clubs, American cars, and they have shows where they bring the cars and they compete for trophies. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a hot rod right now, but I've had them in the past, so I wouldn't say that I'm a big-time hot rodder. Mm-hmm. It's just something that's become part of my life. I did have a 57 Chevy, which is a classic old car, but I had that before I did American Graffiti, so I wasn't coming too late to the game.
Oh, wow. Well, on that note, because I figured if you're into that kind of hot rods or any cars in general, so do you stay away from the video game genre?
I have so far. I haven't been doing too many games. I've got a couple on my computer, but I just don't not drawn to it.
No, it's understandable. It's understandable. All right, well, we're going to dive right into the PuppetMaster. Again, pleasure having you here. Before auditioning for the role, have you heard of PuppetMaster before?
Never heard of it.
Never?
Didn't know anything about it. Of course, it was the first one,
mm-hmm.
So I don't think it was a common topic of conversation. Little puppets chasing people and killing them. No, I haven't heard of that.
No. Well, yeah, it's because I remember there is a comic book series released along the same time as the first film was released, and your character, Alex Whitaker, was actually given more depth into the comic book series, which was really interesting.
That's something I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, sad to say, in part 2, in the film, they refer to you being in an insane asylum, but in the comic book series, they refer to the character being in, pretty much going with his sister, and ultimately getting killed by the puppets.
Oh yeah, well they should film that, don't you think?
The comic books were really good justice. I mean, they had great, like referring to what you had said, it had great writing, very little action. So the comic book series, the counterpart, were a lot better as opposed to the film. But
I see.
Mhm.
Huh.
After filming the first film, have you seen any of the further films?
Yeah, I have. I'm it's kind of sad for me because I want to be in them, but I have watched them. And what was funny was the first Puppet Master, the guy was played by William Hickey, and he didn't come back and play him again, which is too bad because he was good. And I had studied acting with him. He was an acting teacher also. Mm-hmm. So I had a good time visiting with him on the set of William Hickey.
Oh, wow.
And talking about how he remembered me as one of his students. So we got to, see each other again. That was fun.
You saw each other on set, or?
Yeah, because I had studied with him years before, because he was a teacher in New York, acting teacher. So that was fun meeting him on the set again. I haven't seen him for years. It was fun talking to him about the fact that I studied with him, and he remembered me, and he was a nice guy. He's dead now, and I'm sorry he didn't come back and do any more of the Puppet Master films.
Yeah, because one of my questions here was if you've seen the further films of Puppet Master. In your opinion, are you familiar with the storyline of the main storyline of the Puppet Master?
Yeah. I've seen all of them. I think there's about 10 of them, right?
They're actually making the 10th one now.
Oh, okay. I've seen them, and I know there was a prequel, and I haven't seen them all, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's because Mr. Hickey was the first Andre Toulon. Guy Ralph was the second Toulon. And then now they're thinking of having Macaulay Culkin interview or try out for the new Andre Toulon.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
That would be earlier because he's younger than Bill Hickey was and the other guys.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to hit like a reboot on the series, which I wouldn't mind them doing, but I take what I can with the series. I'm still a big fan of it, despite the good and the bad.
Well, they don't have a whole lot of money to make a big, production out of it. It's not like The Dark Knight or the Batman series. They don't have much money, so they can only do so much with it.
Are you a Batman fan?
Oh, sure. I'm not a big fan of it. Like I said, I'm more of a serious actor. I like more, drama and serious stuff. The Puppet Master was sort of a departure from a lot of the films I had done before that. I hadn't got into horror or even too much violence before that. Although it's hard to avoid in films. If you don't want to do any movies with violence, you won't be working much, that's for sure.
Yeah. Kind of pretty much spread your horizon choices.
Yeah, that's it. So, but I like science fiction, and that's what I consider Puppet Master series to be. It's an interesting genre, and I wish I could do more science fiction, but my agent just can't find me too much stuff like that these days.
Wow. Well, I mean, are you familiar with other Full Moon films or just the Puppet Master series?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I am. And I know We don't have too many video stores anymore. When I used to go in, I would see them. They'd say full moon films. By the way, there's a full moon. There was a full moon last night. I saw it in the sky. So it's a good time to talk to you.
Oh, perfect. I love that. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I think there's a full moon, you know, for like tonight I don't know what it'll look like, probably exactly like it did last night. You know, it lasts a few days.
Well, honestly, from a fan's point of view, I'm kind of glad you want to pursue on coming back with the series with PuppetMaster, because I have spoken with other actors, and you know, sad to say they don't want to talk about it, or something happened. I didn't really want to get too technical, but I'm really glad that you had fun. You know that you liked the series.
Yeah, and I didn't get killed, but so I can come back as Alex, and I liked it. I mean, I think it's an intriguing story. People are victimized by these little puppets. Usually, stories have creatures or monsters that are bigger than the people, you know. And this one they're smaller, but they're still dangerous. So I think that's intriguing, and I also like I know one of your questions is which one. I forget the name of the puppet, the one with the head that drills.
Yeah,
the people, that was my favorite one. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the scariest one for me. I wouldn't want to, you know, get that thing running and be drilling with his head.
So, seeing that Tumbler was your favorite puppet, would you, if you were killed in the film, would you rather have been killed by all of them, like the villain did, or just by that one puppet?
Just one. One's enough.
So tell me, how was the atmosphere on set? You know, was it a good working environment, stressful? Did you get along with cast and crew? How was it?
It wasn't stressful as I recall. I've been on some movies where the set environment was stressful, but not in this case. The director was pleasant to everybody, and we all got along, and we didn't feel uncomfortable working in such an unusual environment story-wise. We really didn't see the puppets much because they filmed them separately from us. They weren't really part of our scenes. I guess technically maybe they can do it nowadays more, but we just had to use our imagination. I remember one time, what was the actress's name? She checked on the website, IMDb, but I forgot her name now. But she hit me with this big bowl at the dinner scene that had flowers in it or fruit. I don't even remember, but the thing hurt my head because they didn't build it right. You know, when you break something that's supposed to be glass, it's supposed to be made out of this really soft stuff that breaks easily, but that one, she hit me really hard with it, and it cut my forehead. Some pieces of it cut my forehead, but that was the only thing that I can recall on the set that was even halfway unpleasant.
Wow.
A punch bowl or something.
Yeah, I do recall that scene, but man, it did look like it hurt, but I didn't really think it did hurt. Sorry to say.
Yeah, well, I was just supposed to get knocked out or something, but afterwards we found, I told her she hit me too hard with it.
Oh man, I hope it didn't create any issues on set.
No, it wasn't her fault. She didn't know. When you use props, you have to be very careful, though. They can be dangerous.
Okay, well, on that note, when you were reading the script, were you given any background information as far as, that Alex Whitaker was a sidekick? Was that, how'd you approach that character?
Well, nobody gave me too much information. I didn't really talk to the production people boy, I just figured that this guy, I think I had known, my wife knew a psychic woman, and I talked with her, and that was interesting, and that's about it. Just a lot of times actors can pick things up from other movies, whether it's accurate or not, that's what we do.
So did you tweak the character that was on script to on film?
Yeah. Pretty much I didn't make any changes. I have made changes in other characters that I've played in movies, but not this one. It was all pretty much right there in the script.
Oh, okay. I know when you get first introduced into the film, you're having like a nightmare and leeches on you. Was that uncomfortable? Obviously, the leeches weren't real, but was it an uncomfortable feeling having these prosthetics on you?
What do you mean the leeches weren't real? They went out and got them from Amazon.
Are you serious?
That didn't bother me. No, I'm kidding you. No. There is a movie where they had real leeches on somebody. A movie from the 1950s called The African Queen with Humphrey Bogart.
Uh-huh.
And they got real leeches and put them on him for the scene. That's what I read. Where he was crawling through this jungle, water, pushing this boat, little boat, pulling this little boat. You should see it's a great movie, The African Queen. But yeah, they had to use real leeches. That's what I read. But no, these were not real, thank God. And it didn't bother me too much. I don't remember them bothering me. Things like that you have to use as part of the character's activity. They can help you with your acting because it's part of what's supposed to be happening at the time. That can influence your acting in a good way because it gives you something to react to.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad to know that you have a sense of humor.
Yeah, well, you pretty much have to in this business.
Yeah. Were you noticed after making the film PuppetMaster? Because I know PuppetMaster is what they call in the industry B film, a low-budget film. Were you ever noticed amongst the streets by fans or saying people, hey, I know you, you're for, PuppetMaster? Like, was it more...
That has happened sometimes, but it's not much. I don't think people really recognize me as Alex, but sometimes at autograph shows, there will be fans of the PuppetMaster series, and they will have, toys, toy puppets, and they will want me to autograph them. So they know who I am, but I wouldn't say that I get seen or recognized much on the street from that movie. No.
Is that a good feeling that you get when people walk up to you about PuppetMaster?
Well, if they like the movie, it is. Yeah. Sometimes I've made movies that people don't like in the past, but that's not one of them. So yeah, sure, that's a good feeling. I always am happy to talk to fans, and I'm glad when I get recognized. It doesn't bother me. I think it bothers people if they are in the top level of stardom, and everybody's approaching them and asking them questions and wanting something from them, a picture or an autograph. And they, like, say, for instance, Leonardo DiCaprio, he can't go anywhere without being bothered and approached. It isn't that people are bad. They're not bad. Fans are good people, but they there's only so much of that a person can stand.
Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, when I approach an actor or, someone who's up top, anyone who's superior than me as far as that status, I pretty much picture them put myself in their shoes. Like, they're only people. They don't want to be bombarded. So I respectfully contacted you. If it was possible, great. I didn't want to take any of the time.
It's tough. It's tough if you're a big star. Hopefully maybe I get another good job and I can be successful and I can find out how tough it is. But right now, with the exception of American Graffiti and then this other movie, Melvin and Howard, which got a lot of acclaim and people recognize me from that. Other than that, people don't normally know who I am when I'm going to the market or the gas station or anywhere, a restaurant. Although people, more often than not, the ones that recognize me, they're not sure where they saw me. And they'll ask me, they'll say, aren't you an actor? What were you in? The majority of people, there's so many movies out there, the majority of people can't keep track of all the actors that they see and actresses.
That's what Google's for.
Exactly, that's what the internet is for. Find out this information. IMDb, do you ever go on IMDb?
Yeah, I do have the service. That's how I was able to get in contact with your manager.
Yeah, because I go on there and look at the sites. They've got sites on there for, oh God, every movie it seems like that was ever made and released, and every actor and actress, directors. Some people put YouTube video links up there on the discussion boards. At the bottom of the page, like if you go to the PuppetMaster boards or the actor, actress, or directors, at the bottom of that page there's a link, there's a discussion board that you can click on to, and you can write comments and ask questions about some other fans. It's a fan site discussion board. I go around to those and read them. They're pretty interesting. They got stuff about everything, from old movies like Gone with the Wind to brand new movies that are not even out yet. People are talking about them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I was saying, that I'm glad to hear about you being interested on your character coming back. But I'm going to touch on that at the end of the interview. Yeah. I'm sorry. But have you seen the film lately? Like, have you looked back on it and say, hey, you know what?
I haven't seen it lately. I haven't seen it in a long time. I'm going to have to watch it again. I usually don't watch my own movies too much. I watch them one or two times, and that's it. But that one, I would have to do that to refresh my memory. Once in a while, I'll see a movie I was in at a screening. Sometimes they have them. But not PuppetMaster. I don't think I haven't seen that as being screened. Because it's mostly for DVD. That's the way they released it. But yeah, I can't remember how long it's been.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, is there anything that you would want to tell the fans out there for the series? Something that's, anything?
Well, I don't know. I'm just grateful that they like the movie. You never know when you make the movie whether there's going to be people that are going to care about it and enjoy it or not. And I was happy to find out that after it got released, that people liked it and that Full Moon made some more of it. I was happy about that. Just not happy that it didn't get brought back.
Well, maybe we can change that by that. Were you able to visit the website, the fan site, the ToulonShrunk.com?
Yeah. No, my computer froze up. I was going to do all that today.
Well, I mean,
it's frozen. I'm going to have to shut it down and then start it up again and see if it'll fix itself.
I would love to hear your feedback on, what you think of it, just so Well, just to have some feedback,
Sure.
especially from you.
Sure, I will be glad to give you some feedback.
Well, once again, I have to thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you, Paul. I do appreciate you taking the time to call me to set this interview up, talk about Puppet Master. There's many fans out there who love the franchise and hate it at the same time, but hate it in a way of, like, they just wish something more could have been done with it, which they are going in the right direction now, which is amazing.
Good.
But
okay, well, thank you, too. You're welcome, and thank you.